Hey, your buddy Peace and Harmony here with you here today. The narcissist at work. Wow, am I inspired to go over this conversation and this content in this video here with you here today. I really feel and believe that the narcissist presence, the corporate psychopath, is such an important type of personality for us to understand if we're dealing in business, if we're dealing in healthcare, if we're dealing in education, if we're dealing in sales, if we're dealing in entrepreneurship, business ownership, restaurateur, working as a support staff, working as an equal manager. I mean, you name it, you're going to definitely encounter the narcissist or psychopath at your workplace. And it's so very important for you to really understand kind of their tricks of the trade, so as not to get sucked up or sucked in by them. And what do I mean, tricks of the trade? Well, the narcissist is someone who's going to use a pre-calculating sort of strategy to pull you in or suck you in, and it's usually going to be to your detriment, not to your betterment, not to your fulfillment, not to your gratification, not to your own personal edification. It's going to be more towards your derailment and to your suffering, towards you getting the very low end of the stick, if any end of the stick at all. And it's usually done, I mean, you hear about the guy with the machismo, and forgive me if I'm going to use he in these videos here. The narcissist at work can be a female, definitely. The narcissist at work, or the psychopath at work, can also be a female. So let's use the terms interchangeably here, but let's definitely, keep on track, because I think it's so very important to understand this type of person in the workplace, as well as know how to deal with them, because it's responsible for the crash of stock markets. It's responsible for the downfall of great nations, their great businesses. It's responsible for really the suffering of so many people in terms of getting the care and services that they need. And I'm not saying it's like all be all. There's me going with my disclaimers again, but I'm just saying how very, very important it is to understand this personality dynamic at work. So you can see it in play, you can see the ramifications, you can see how it plays out, so you know really what you can identify what you're up against, and then perhaps how to deal with it, because otherwise you're going to be a victim. And otherwise, what's a synonym for the victim? You're going to get shafted, you're going to get the low end of the stick, you're going to get screwed out of the deal, you're going to get screwed out of the position, you're going to get messed up, you're going to get turned upside down, you're going to be jacked sideways. I mean, it's not a good situation. And of course, we learn our skills of the workplace and how to raise up our own status and position there. But I think really a good amount of psychology is necessary, and understanding like the corporate psychopath, the corporate narcissist. What does it look like in the workplace? Workplace bullying, these are all kind of within a similar topic. And to learn how to decode their cues and clues so that you're not at the short end of the stick. You go, no thank you, and you walk back and grab the long end of the stick, and you are now in possession of your human rights. So the psychopath at work, usually what they're going to do, and the narcissist at work, what they're going to do is, while not always trying to get attention to themselves, that's a very key top indicator, is just, annoying. Some people are captivated by them. They are absolutely positively trying to get all sorts of attention on them. The clothes that they wear, the entrances that they make, the food that they eat, the way they gallivant around, the way they strut, the way they stride, the way they belittle people, the way they treat people, the way they smirk at people, how they kind of lay back and try to, devour you with their eyes, the way they try to seduce you with their stance, with the way that they put their hand, the way that they maybe touch you, the way that they look at you, the way that they don't look at you. There are all sorts of ways that the narcissist and psychopath will be cunning, like the fox and the hound. The way that they will really be working you as their prey. So it's not just the manager who's like a superstar and like, let's make this team succeed, guys, and we're here for you and supportive and rah rah rah, or you know, the professor who wants to really take the department to the next level and wants to like get some research things funded and is like working his tail off in order to get it approved for the university. I mean, you know, there's hardworking people, and then there's narcissists who absolutely positively will defunk and, you know, render organizations just useless because of their own short-sighted ways, which a psychopath, oftentimes, since they don't have the humanity at mind, they're really going to destroy much of the fabric of an organization if given the opportunity. Not to mention the pathological lying, which gives them the ability to, you know, really mess up a lot of departments, documents, professional relationships, forge numbers, all that kind of thing. I mean, if you see this behavior on a huge dysfunctional level, I mean, you're dealing with a narcissist or the psychopath. And, you know, how do you deal with it? I mean, let's just talk a little bit more about some of the symptoms, and we're going to also talk about what to do. So, really realize that the narcissist or the psychopath is going to be checking people out. Really checking them out to see what he can get away with them. So maybe when you begin a new job and, you know, you're kind of saying, okay, all right, great, you know, here's these new people here. You know, yeah, you might be interacting with them. It's a give and take. The narcissist, though, on the other hand, they're just really kind of trying to size up the situation, and they're looking for holes. They're looking for gaps where they can kind of get in, skip some steps, if you will. Look for ways, people who he can start latching himself on with, he or she latching themselves on with, special favors, special meetings, going into special offices, taking initiative where they're not wanted, finding out privileged information to their own end or to exploit another. These are the type of behaviors that you're going to see in the narcissist or the psychopath. Taking breaks at very unusual times and going into various offices where they should not be. Making unwanted physical advances on people. Sexual advances in the workplace. I mean, that's a whole nother video. Sexual harassment at the workplace. And, you know, you can pretty much bet or guess that that person has narcissistic personality disorder or psychopathic tendencies. Sorry if I'm kind of in the shade there, but these are really some very important behaviors that the narcissist or the psychopath is going to engage in and are extremely toxic to be around. Not only toxic to be around, but they are very destructive to a person who has been claimed or, you know, attempted to be laid waste, a victim, because they tried to seep into this person's profession, get them so distracted, so physically aroused, perhaps by anger, perhaps by sexual conquest. Keep in mind that the narcissist or the psychopath, they're not always into the sexual gratification, that they're using that as an outlet, really to try to take control over this person and power over this person, versus, you know, like, I really want a relationship, or I really want to get to know this person. If they're getting to know you, it's because they're trying to find out not only how they can get in your pants, well, that's one thing, I guess that would be obvious, correct? But really how they can kind of treat you and behave in such a way so that they can take advantage of you and kind of work your sweet spot. Your sweet spot meaning break you down. They'll give you commands embedded in their conversation with you. They'll kind of notice how you like to be treated. They'll just act like they're, charming, and they'll add what I call embedded commands, which is very much a neuro-linguistic sort of programming, where they tell you, don't get frustrated. And don't get frustrated really means get frustrated. So they're trying to ruffle your feathers. They are very much trying to get you to lose it. And what are they trying to get you to lose? Lose your self-respect, lose your decency, lose your self-control, lose your focus on your own work at hand, your own goals. They're trying to get you to forget these things so they can move in and take over emotionally for you. And when we talk about this ability, it is a very uncanny ability that they possess. They are different than the normal person in their ability to do this. In terms of brainwashing, there's a very sophisticated sense in which it's almost like a form of hypnosis, where they're really able to get people to let go and have them do things that they ordinarily would not do because it's not in their self-interest. So this is just a little bit on the narcissist or psychopath at the workplace. I really plan to do a lot more videos on this topic and educate on what to do and how to handle it, but I really want to bring some awareness to this topic because I think it's so very important, and I don't want people to go through their circumstance without resources. So hopefully this has been informative, at least in the beginning. Peace and harmony here with you here today. Please share and subscribe for more tools, videos, support, and discussion.